Seems like there's no end to the water woes for Johannesburg residents. A power failure near the Eikenhof pump station has resulted in intermittent supply to the Brixton, Hursthill and Crosby reservoirs. This, of course, has resulted in mass frustration and dry taps across large parts of the city. Joburg Water, meanwhile, blaming the issues on increased demand. It's throttled water by 20%. Our reporter Nqobile Madlala joins me for more. Hi, Nqobile. So you've been speaking to residents. What are they saying to you?
Well, Sally, most of them are very frustrated. In fact, some of them were just saying that this has been ongoing for too long. We went to the South Hills, which is the south of Johannesburg, where most of the residents were saying that they haven't had water for over 6 days. And this means that for old age homes, these old ladies, the elderly didn't have a way to get water unless it was delivered to them. And also that the water tankers were not close enough for them to be able to go get water. But also they were saying that there are schools that have had to close much earlier or have had to come up with other plans to make sure that there is a continuation of the curriculum. But also at the same time, Sally, most of them just saying that they've had enough, they are fed up, they want to take to the streets until they are taken seriously, because they have been echoing their concerns, but it seems like there has been no end in sight to that issue, and therefore the only language that can be heard by some of the officials, they were saying that the only way to be heard is then to take to the streets, which is what we saw also the day before in Lodium, where also the residents there took to the streets, which is the north, Sally, and they're saying also that even though they went to the streets, they still have not gotten their water back. And so this has become a major issue, just disrupting their daily routine as usual. But let's listen in to some of the residents.
It affects my toilet. I can't wash, I can't do nothing. And there is water. We went up there and there is water. It's not right what they're doing to us. We have babies in our places, and the old age people also there. It's not fair to us. It's not right what the government and the rent water is doing to us. It's not fair.
The 26th of August, last time we sat 11 days without water. This time it was the Eikenhof plant, purification plant, that apparently had a problem. We have water in the reservoir. They're telling us we've got no water. We've got businesses. We've got we've got an orphanage, and we've got 5 immediate old age homes that are not getting any water. We've got businesses that have had to close, schools that are not being attended because there's no water for the schools. These children can't go to school. It's a health issue. So yes, it's a very big problem, and they keep coming with stories. They're fixing this, they're fixing. You'll get it tomorrow. You'll get it in 2 hours, and there's always another problem. So we don't believe anything they've got to say. Rand Water and Joburg Water has refused to meet with us. Okay, our councillors have done everything they can from our side. I've got everything. I've got all the loggings we've done. Okay, so we've got proof that we've logged the complaints. They are refusing to answer us. They're refusing to come and meet with us. So the only other thing is we go meet them. If they're refusing to come to us, we're going to have to go out to them.
This is unconstitutional in this COVID period, because COVID, they want people and they want us to be clean. How can we be if there is no water? The thing is this, that gets to me is this. They just put the water out without even pre-warning us so that we can make provision at least for a few days. Now you have water, you go next time there is no water. In the most cases, we've got children, small babies. How are we supposed to fend for our small babies if there is no water? And like she said, I want to reiterate, then we fight with our ward councillor because we think that she's lying. But it's what they say to her that she tells us, the people that she gives us. Then when you see, don't see water, and she said water in 2-3 hours, then we fight with her. I mean, that is not fair. All that we ask is for human beings, for a human sense of humanity.
So residents battling to get answers from Rand Water and Joburg Water. Have you been able to establish contact with them to get an explanation of what the problem is exactly and what they're going to do about it?
Well, Sally, according to Rand Water, the issue is that during the change of seasons, there seems to be a more consumption of water, especially when it goes towards the warmer time of the season. So now, as you know, spring is just around the corner. They're saying that people tend to use more water. As a result, they did restrict some water to about 20%. This, of course, to make sure that they have enough water to distribute to everyone. But this also means that there's less water coming out of your tap because the pressure is a bit low. But another issue, they said that whilst they were doing that, there was a water outage. And there was an electricity outage, And when there was an electricity outage, that then became an issue, but then it disrupted what they were doing, meaning that they could not pump the water to the reservoirs, and that also contributed to this issue now that the residents are seeing. So they were saying to us that this is something they are attending to. In fact, in Laudium, they said that they were on the ground attending to the issue, even though the residents felt that not much was being done because they had been there since day one, and therefore in day 6 you can't say that you're still attending to a similar issue. But let's listen in to what Rand Water had to say to us.
When we started implementing these curtailments, our storage levels were sitting at around 30%. 5 days later, we are sitting at around 38%, which means we are on the right track, and we are continuing to monitor these levels as we assist these areas that experienced challenges as a result of these curtailments. As I speak to you now, I am in Laudium. We are looking into the system. It's a system that comprises of 2 networks in the main. You have a network provision from Rainwater side. You also have the distribution from the Tshwane side. So the water from Rainwater, which is the bulk provider of water, is flowing. We are here on site. We are seeing water flowing. There is a challenge of water reaching the reservoirs in areas such as Laudium. Throughout all the 3 metros, Tajemoyani, we only experienced challenges which were isolated. We know of the Laudium area in Tshwane and some other nearby area. There was an issue in Ekurhuleni which has also been resolved. We are aware also of the issue in city of Johannesburg, which relies on these elevations that I've alluded to. So the reservoirs are recovering. Our target is 60%. We're sitting at 38% from 30%, and we are on the right track to recover the levels.
Well, that was the Rand Water COO, Nqobile Madlala, there, ending that report by Nqobile Madlala.